That happens sometimes. Sometimes you got to wake yourself up. So day 2. Congratulations, you made it. Keep going. Marty has faith in you, just like he has faith in himself. That's right. You can do it. We can do it. Marty's kind of lost track of days, but congratulations for making it this far. We made it. We've gotten this far. Okay. Congratulations. This means that you're really, taking yourself seriously, taking your spirit and yourself and your soul seriously. And that's important, right? Because sometimes we forget why we do this, and we have to remember that no matter how dark it gets, no matter how deep we feel like we're in the forest, it's going to be okay, right? It's going to be okay. One of the great things about quitting pornography is that you really get the opportunity to have time to think about things, right? To reflect on life, right? Like Marty mentioned in the last entry he made about, acknowledging issues with relationships or doubts about things, or feeling like you couldn't exceed in certain things because you were distracted by something. And Marty has had plenty of time to think about things. And sometimes you get in the dark and you feel this buildup, right? It's normal. Okay, Marty wants to say that it's normal to feel this buildup of this energy, okay? There's nothing wrong with it. You're totally fine, all right? Sometimes Marty has to say that to himself. Sometimes Marty, thinks about breasts, and he has to kind of just acknowledge that it's okay. It's okay. He just has to slap it away, right? Slap it away is the new term that Marty likes to use. And if he were to write a book about quitting pornography, he'd call it Slap It Away, because that seems to be an effective way to keep the beast at bay, right? The effective way to keep the beast at bay. That would be the subtitle, right? Slap it away, the effective way to keep the beast at bay, right? Because even if it's a fraction of a second where you think about it, right? And you really need to, reset your system. And so what Marty was saying before was that he's had some time to think, and I feel like I need to express some thoughts I've had about pornography and kind of the perspective that I've gained here. And for men, we like to really look at ourselves and blame ourselves for it, right? We watch the pornography and we feel a lot of shame, a lot of anger towards ourselves, right? And Marty wants to just, maybe throw a thought out there. And Marty's not a conspiracy theorist, but he does like to present interesting ideas. But Marty thinks it's interesting that, when you watch pornography, we always see the woman, right? We always see her face, we see her body, right? Maybe we don't always see her face, but we usually see the woman's face. We want to see the beauty and the wonder of a woman, right? A woman gets her whole body exposed in pornography. We see her as a human being. But you know who we don't see as a human being? The men, right? We just see a headless being, right? With a six-pack and the biceps and his very large lingam thrusting in and out and in and out. Seems really interesting that, so many people say pornography objectifies women, it hurts women, but now that Marty thinks about it and he's had some time to reflect, and maybe we should be offended by this, men. Men are objectified in pornography more than women, right? Because we're just a headless ghost with a large lingam, and it's a lingam that, most men don't have, okay? And maybe men will feel inferior because of that lingam, and maybe that's the point. Point of pornography is to make men feel insecure, like they don't have a good body or a good lingam, or that they aren't a human being, right? Maybe that's part of it. And not only that, but it's really interesting because maybe, just maybe, and hear Marty out, and remember, Marty's not a conspiracy theorist, maybe pornography is propagated by women. Hold on, I know. Some people are going to get a little off right now, but you got to listen to Marty, because Marty's been thinking some things. Marty's been thinking some things, and he's realized some things, okay? And he wants to acknowledge them. Maybe women propagate pornography because it helps them have control over men. Wow. Yeah. Marty's mind was blown when he discovered it too. What if women allow for and actually try to make pornography more prevalent because they know that they brain soil men with it, that now they have control over men, because a man now can't operate in the world without, seeing a woman as something that's unattainable, that they want sexually. We see the women, right? And we know we want them, right? Sexually, right? Even spiritually, but, we can't attain these beautiful goddesses. So it causes men to feel insecure, right? And it makes us docile because it's almost as if it's a sedative, this pornography. It sedates us. It makes us feel weak so that women can control us. That's right. Marty's going there, right? Marty doesn't like to, take the red pill, blue pill, whatever pill that is, right? That the MGTOW guys are saying. But it's really interesting that a lot of women are all for pornography, right? Ooh, yeah, we get to have a choice, and it's our choice to do it, to imprison men in their mind with their wild beast, right? Just push them in that room with that wild beast and let them duke it out, right? Because that wild beast is going to win. Because men, we want to be nice. We want to be good guys these days. But that beast, it doesn't care about nice. It doesn't care about us being good, right? It will dominate us. It will back us up into the corner in that room in our mind, right? Because we haven't gotten rid of that wild beast yet, right? We think we got rid of it, but it comes back. It comes knocking on the door, scratching on the door, whatever you think, because that's home for it, right? It doesn't know the wild anymore. It doesn't want to be out in the wild. It wants to be in the comfy home. So it's in there. It corners us. And what does it do? Well, it dominates us. And then what happens when a woman enters our lives? We don't feel strong. We don't feel powerful. And men, we should be offended by this. We should be offended by the fact that women objectify men in this way and make us weak and docile and go, ooh, it's all for my choice, right? It's my option to, show off my body, and I'm beautiful and I'm a goddess, and you could put me on a pedestal and you could watch me, in the privacy of your own home because I'm beautiful and gorgeous and all eyes belong on me. But then what about the men? What about us men? We are the victims of pornography. We are victims. We can't have regular relationships. We can't be happy. Make men docile so that women could take over the world. They could take over your sexuality. They could take over your soul, your spirit, your being. That's right. Marty's been thinking a lot about it. And Marty wants to admit, right? It's a little scary. Marty's been in a scary place because, he hasn't looked at pornography or touched himself. And whenever he thinks about it, he really has to knock himself back into it. Marty can't see, it comes up. Yeah, no, Marty's not going to let that happen. Marty is not going to let it win. Nope. Marty's not going to let that happen. Back, you wild beast. Back. I see you in my mind. I see it in my mind. I know you men out there see it in your mind too. Back, you wild beast. That's what you have to say to it, right? Back, you wild beast. Like you have a chair and you're at the circus and it's a tiger and the crowd is there to see you, right? And they're looking at you and they're judging you because if you fail, you feel even more shame, right? You've opened up that tab where, it's usually like 10 tabs on your laptop and there it is, right? It's just laid out for everyone to see. Okay, and then you feel ashamed because you didn't get rid of them, right? Why didn't you get rid of them, Marty? Why didn't you just X out of all the tabs? That would be the real way to do it instead of slapping yourself anytime you think of boobies or see that's what I mean. That's what I'm talking about. Like you can't do that. Whew. Marty got caught in the forest a little bit there in the darkness, and Marty wants to acknowledge that. Okay, Marty is feeling some things and thinking some things that he didn't before, and now that he's looking back on everything he said, he wants to apologize to the women out there. Marty kind of lost it there for a second. Marty is in the darkness of the forest, and he acknowledges his thoughts and his feelings, and he wants to apologize to the women out there. Look at my eyes. I'm looking in yours, right? I feel your soul here with me. I want to send my sincere apologies to you women out there for blaming you for the plight of men in our battle with pornography, right? You have every right to show off your body parts and the bodies that you own. Those are sacred pieces, and you're welcome to do whatever you like with those sacred parts of who you are, that sacred body, right? You have every right to do that. And men have every right to say no to it. That's I think that's what Marty's trying to say is, men, we don't have to say yes to it all the time. In fact, maybe we need to exercise the power to say no. Because we're stronger than that. And, is it really that great? Is it really that amazing to see all the... It really is great. So you women have every right to do what you have, if that's how you feel empowered. And maybe for us men, maybe the way we feel empowered is to say no. When a woman shows you her beautiful breasts, or we see them on the screen, right? When you see a woman's body on the screen and she is feeling empowered and powerful, you can just easily go, no, I'm not going to do that, because you know what feels empowering for me? You know where I feel empowered is to say no to that body, to know that I'm better than that, to know that I don't need it. That's right, men. We don't need it. We don't need the pornography. Society and the government is using pornography to make us docile, to make us weak. Marty believes that. Marty wants to feel his full manhood. Marty wants to feel like a man. Don't you? Look at my eyes. Don't you want to feel like a man? Like you can be your fullest self? Don't you want to feel that way? The energy of your body, instead of depleting it into something like a screen? Maybe we're more than this, men. Maybe this is a good thing. Maybe it's a good thing. Wow. Marty feels better about that. Marty feels more confident about that. Marty hopes that you do too. Marty went off there for a second. Marty felt that, right? It's a roller coaster ride. And Marty wants to acknowledge that. But it's therapy. It's all part of the journey. Sometimes, you find yourself running uphill. Sometimes you feel yourself falling down the hill. Marty fell down the hill a little bit there, and that's okay. But Marty is lucky to have his martyrs for manhood out there, that he could look into their eyes and say, and trust that you're there with me, because Marty's here for you. So remember that. You keep going strong. Okay, Marty believes in you. Marty has faith. Let's make it to that 30-day mark.